for 10th straight win.
Awesome.
And for all the concern about the passing offense, those questions were answered yesterday. Now, we've had some fun with this throughout the show, even though people still are not necessarily having fun with it. They're angry that the media created some sort of drama when the players created it themselves.
I was dealing with a guy who on Twitter who did not even know the story.
I know.
So I'm like, seriously, dude.
That's why earlier in the show, we played Jalen sitting down at the podium, and we played AJ saying, no, that was us trying to tell you guys to shut up. What do you mean, us?
Us?
You're the ones that said it.
You talked, then Brandon Graham talked. Stop it.
And nobody disagreed with what AJ said.
No.
It's just what then transpired was what Brandon Graham said on Monday night.
By the way, we opened Monday's show last week, and I had to go check. We opened Monday's show saying that we both believed, on the record, to make it clear, that this was a giant nothing burger.
Yes.
That this would not derail the team, that it's AJ speaking up.
It was then what Brandon Graham said Monday night that changed.
And that set the fire.
That changed everything.
But we also thought that wouldn't end up on Tuesday's show.
Correct.
That it would not derail the team. So
this show's smart.
If you have issues with hosts that blew it up and created something, take it to them.
Yeah, not here.
Take it to them.
This show stood in solidarity.
Well, I mean, we just
with the Eagles passing offense.
We didn't look. I think what Brandon Graham did was dumb.
Yeah, it
was dumb, and that's why he stood in front of his teammates, took the blame for it, and apologized.
Right,
which is a class act and a leader.
Everybody on this team, the coaching staff and the players, handled it very well.
They did.
Nick Sirianni deserves a lot of credit for this not blowing up.
Yes.
And was yesterday's game plan in response to it? I do believe so.
I do too. Yeah,
I don't think if A.J. Brown speaks out that Saquon Barkley's only getting, I know he ended up having 19 carries because they were up, but I imagine they would have ran more.
Sure.
The opening drive was a lot of passing plays. I think that was in response to everything that happened.
The only thing that was weird about that game was, though, at 17-3, I really thought it was going to go off the rails. Like they were going to end up winning 27-10, 30-10. It still was 17-13 at halftime.
Right.
Which sort of was driving me nuts. There was a lot of something goos. And I can tell you this because he said it on the record. Cooper DeJean returning punts is going to drive Vic Fangio nuts.
Yeah, that shot he took on the sideline. By the way, no flag on that one.
He took two collisions yesterday that easily could have ended up with a separated shoulder, a collarbone, or whatever. For God's sakes, Will Shipley can return kicks. I guarantee you.
Well, when Covey's back, he's going to be returning.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll be back.
So,
because this is reckless.
You were in the building yesterday before we get to all our topics. That DeJean, where he got hit and then there was the second hit.
Yes.
They never showed a sideline angle. Was he still in bounds?
He was still slightly. I think he was half in bounds, half out.
Well, then how is there no personal foul, unnecessary roughness? The play was dead in my eyes, and then this guy comes in and lays a lick on DeJean.
Well, here's what I would say: it was too close. I think it was too close for anyone to know.
Really, I thought it was hard. Right away, I stood up. I was like, "Oh,
wow!" I thought it was too close.
Okay,
but that's just me. And it was on the far sideline from us.
Right. So, opening drive for the Eagles, by the way, in case people are saying, no, they didn't scheme up pass plays just to make everyone happy.
Nah.
Your opening drive, pass, run, pass, called pass, but Hurts got 1 yard on the run, field goal.
How about the Calcaterra catch, too?
Great
first catch.
Yeah.
Great. I'm telling you, another Andrew DiCecco feather in his cap as if he needs them.
Yeah.
He flat out said to me, I don't know how much. When Goddard was out, I was like, yeah, I'm a little worried about that. And he's like, I don't know how much he'll be missed. I think it's clear. Dallas Goedert, it's not a rip on Dallas.
No.
Get well, get back. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, especially for blocking in the playoffs when you're running the football.
Correct. But Grant Calcaterra has done a really, really fine job.
So, have all your concerns been addressed? Let's go to the text line. We'll get to the phones as well. It's 610-632-0975. The biggest concern for a lot of people was the passing game. There were people that went over the top and said, Jalen Hurts stinks and they're never going to win with him. I mean, how many texts and calls did we take last week that you would think last week the season was over by some of the reaction?
I think there was some people with PTSD from last December.
Right. Because of
and that's understandable.
The vibes as well, not just the talent. But what are people saying on the text line, Connor?
Yeah, a lot of people that love what the Eagles did on Sunday. Obviously, our buddy Jeff from D.C. checks in and says, if you have concerns after that game, you're an idiot, and I cannot help you. They just beat the brakes off the Pittsburgh Steelers, for crying out loud. No negativity allowed today. None.
I love it. That's how I started in the first segment. I think that's sort of unfair, a little bit of me, like that I just don't want to hear it today. The negativity stuff, it's just not – today it's not appropriate. There's not a storyline for that. If you're creating one, you're looking for one, and I don't know where you're going to find it. Really don't.
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting one after this game.
No.
I don't know,
I don't know what you're doing.
there is to point out. But there was something that was needed to be addressed by the team. Sal Pal yesterday, he was doing the color analyst work with Steve Levy. The game was the ESPN radio broadcast of the week. And Steve Levy asked Sal Pal, hey, is everybody happy now in Philadelphia? Take a listen to what Sal Pal had to say about the conversations that took place during the week.
You heard Devontae Smith in the interview with Courtney Cronin after the game, and he said, you know, we have awkward conversations. We're allowed to have awkward conversations on this team because of the culture of the coaching staff and these players, and that's what they did this week. I was there at NovaCare. There were some very difficult conversations that had to be had after what was said in the win after Carolina. They said them. Things got addressed. It was out in the open. They fixed the passing game, and they come out here and dominate a much better team in the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second half. So where is this team going? They stay in the division. They don't have to get on the plane. They've got Washington at Washington next week. Then the Cowboys come in, and then the Giants come in. So they could very easily close out the division with no problem.
So wait. So it wasn't fake news. Okay, I just want to make sure. I saw the plane flying over.
Yeah.
So it wasn't fake news when the team had to have when Devontae Smith even said we have to have difficult conversations inside the building. And you should.
Yeah, the players, once again.
When you got members of a team acting like fools, they should fix things. And that's what they did.
That's what they did, and kudos to them for doing it.
Normally, if somebody pays to have a plane fly a message, it's not normally a tempered, like, rational
No,
take.
of course. Yeah, you're right.
That is the truth.
But there are people that are in agreement with the banner.
Which is just sheer. In this issue, now wait a minute. And again, to make it clear, there have been times the Philly media should own the fact that they've amplified something or even gone too far.
Like Deshaun Jackson.
Right, gone too far, yes. Well, certain people should.
One individual.
As far as this story, this is a completely internal combustion. Nothing external.
Yeah. Thank you so much for checking out our content on the 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, you can always be checking the playlist. There may be something you missed from one of our shows during the day that you want to go back and check out. So every time you like a video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and you'll have that great content coming to you every single day. You're greatly appreciated.